Jai Shri Ram. Welcome to Subramani. Uh, in case, this is something which I'm going to read out a couple of reader feedback. Let me just tell you that there is a website that I used to run called subramani.com. Go there and read. There are lots of tons of good articles. I just stopped writing. I think I wrote for 7 years. So you will find 2000 plus posts there, minimum of 2000 plus posts there. Some of it could be very similar or almost like a repeat. So let me tell you some of the why I am saying all this is because I'm going to read out something which people said. Subra, I really feel I should have met you 30 years ago and my life would have been very different. Then somebody else says, Subra, I wish you were really my father, because my real father does not allow me to invest my own money. He keeps everything only in bank fixed deposits. So lucky that I met you, Subra, when I was just 21. My SIP is now 9 years old, and thank you. Well, I may have just said do an SIP. I did not say which SIP, so he must have chosen some right SIP, and I'm getting credit for it. So whenever somebody is giving you credit, very important thing, don't interrupt. So I won't interrupt him. Subra, I wish my father had seen your blog 30 years ago. He's a financial mess and he's just 65 years of age and he's completely dependent on me. He has zero savings or investments. He does not even have bank fixed deposits. Everything is over. So my parents are completely dependent on me. If he had seen that, it wouldn't have been so bad for me. Now I have to build for them and for myself. I am 30 years of age. All reader sentiments. And so my take is, what is the solution for this? So first, pay yourself first. When you get your money, pay yourself first. Pay for all your goals. So this is another way of saying invest before you spend. So if you have some short-term goals, you want to buy a car, you want to pay for your daughter's education, you want to buy a bigger house, and then you want to retire. So first take money and put it to box number 1, box number 2, box number 3, and box number 4, which I say 4 SIPs which you are running, or you are running one index fund SIP. I am not even getting into that. So put that money away. So that is called pay yourself first. You're paying yourself for your current expenses little later, but you're paying for all your goals. If there's a goal for which you cannot put any money, it means it's not a goal. You're not committed enough towards that goal. It's perfectly all right to have lesser number of goals. You say, okay, these goals are my priority, that goal is not my priority. I will not buy a bigger house. But you cannot do that for your retirement. So your retirement has to be there. So if you go to subramani.com, you will find something called pay yourself first. I'll try to put a link, but I'm not very sure whether I will do it. Second, be financially literate. Read a lot. Do I still read? I still read, but my need for reading has gone down because I have to now implement what I've read. In your case, if you don't know, you have to read and you have to ask. Ask before you buy a wrong insurance policy. Ask before you put money in a wrong mutual fund. Even in the mutual fund, it is not so bad because the cost of coming out may not be very high. It may be 1%, and you could wait for 1 year and avoid that 1% also. So it's possible. Whereas in insurance, it's very expensive to come out and you feel bad. Let's say you have put annual premium of 6 lakhs into a policy and it's a bad policy. And you come to me and I'd say, boss, I think you need to remove this money. Then it's gone. That 6 lakhs is gone. Now that hurts. Whereas if you put 6 lakhs in the mutual fund and it is, and I think it's a bad fund, coming out will cost you maximum of 6,000 rupees, right? There's 1% exit load. And if you wait for 1 year, that is also not there. So maybe you will get back 6 lakh 5 or 6 lakh 7 end of 1 year. But it is not too bad a crime. Whereas in an insurance policy, you won't get back anything. So understand what you're buying, right? So that is second one. Third, buy pure term insurance. Don't buy, there are variants of term insurance, don't buy that. So that also I've written an article about. Earn well, spend smartly, save well, right? Earn well. You have to earn well. There is nobody, if anybody tells you that you need not earn well, they're bluffing, right? 5,000 rupee SIP can't make you a millionaire except in some 480 years, right? It's going to take some inordinately long time after paying for all your expenses. So don't even get into that discussion. To create good amount of wealth, you need a good income. From wherever you create that income, you either studied and created, you played a sport, you acted well, doesn't matter, but you have to know that Communicate with your family about your priorities about money. That's also very important. If your mother, father, brother, sister, everybody thinks you owe them a living, you have to tell them no, please create your own. I will pay for some of your basic stuff if it is necessary, but after your brother, sister and all start earning, they have to be independent. So some of it can be a gift, some of it can be a loan. Of course, with parents it could be a little different, because if they are old and they don't have enough money, you will have to provide for it. But yeah, so this, be careful, communicate about money. If you do learn and understand and do asset allocation. Asset allocation is not something which your advisor can do. Your advisor can advise you as to how that asset allocation should be. It is completely up to you to do asset allocation. This is the complete responsibility of the investor. I've had arguments, I've had fights. It is not for the CIO of a AMC to tell you which fund to put, how much to put. It is the job of your advisor to advise you, and it is your job to listen to that advisor and then take your decision. Please understand, the risk and reward both belong to you. Your advisor is not going to say, oh, you've lost money, here is a check, I'm going to pay you for it. No, your advisor is a human being. He or she has limitations, has perhaps studied in that field, knows that field, understands that field, but still can't predict markets. So please understand, risk is something which you should be able to understand much better than your advisor. Advisor understands risk, you understand yourself. Understanding yourself is more important than understanding risk. The minute you understand yourself, you will understand what you consider is risk. If you're planning to do a business, start early there too, because it's easier to fail as a 22-year-old than to fail as a 42-year-old. And it is always nice. I would any day recruit a person who has done business and even failed, because he's gone through that fundraising, recruiting people, keeping them, holding on to them during bad times. All that is fantastic experience. So don't think being an entrepreneur is a bad experience. Even if you fail, it's a good experience, and it's good to on your CV to get recruited. So if you want to do business, start early. Don't take up a job and say then I will do business. That's very difficult. And it is the opportunity loss of being in business today is much higher. For example, when I started my life, maybe 1985-86, the opportunity cost for being in a job was 2,500 a month, and I was very confident I would earn more than that in the first month of practice, and I did. But today the cost of going into practice is very high for, say, a chartered accountant, especially if he's a rank holder and can get a good job. The salaries that I hear are range even from 35 to 70 lakhs a year. Right? So with that kind of an opportunity cost, you may not want to do business, but whatever, even if you want to do business, do it pretty early. Keep financial costs low, trading costs low. Learn about whatever you're buying, whether you want to be a trader, whether you want to be an investor. First of all, I don't think people understand the distinction very easily. If you don't understand, don't trade. Then just be an investor. You can go wrong. You can buy HDFC Bank at a wrong price, but at least it's not too bad a company. After some time, you'll recover your money, whether it is Reliance, HUL, HDFC Bank, Bharti Airtel, doesn't matter. You can go wrong only with the price, especially if you're buying the large caps. So decide on all that and then start investing, but please learn much more about investing than just listening to this podcast or reading a couple of papers. It's just not sufficient, right? So keep good proper financial records, make your will, communicate with your family about money. These are all things which are very, very basic and very, very necessary. I would call them, you could even call them the financial resolution for 2024 or 25 or 26 or 27, whenever you're watching it, doesn't really matter. Right, it can't be 23 because I'm making this at the end of 2023. So Happy New Year. Be willing to implement all these things, because Happy New Year can happen anytime. It need not happen only on the 1st of Jan or 1st of April. The day you start, it's a new year for you. Thank you.